Let me ask you something honestly. Have you ever noticed how some farmers seem to struggle year after year, while others, quietly, without noise or social media hype, are building real wealth? Same weather, same country, sometimes even less land. The difference isn't luck. It's the crops they choose. Because right now, across the world, a few crops are quietly making farmers rich. Not overnight, but consistently. Subscribe and continue watching because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which crops these are, why they work, and why most people never see the opportunity until it's too late. Let's get straight into it. Crop number 1. Garlic. Garlic doesn't look like money. It doesn't shine. It doesn't impress visitors. It doesn't grow tall or colorful. And that's exactly why many people underestimate it. But experienced farmers know something beginners don't. Garlic is not a quick cash crop. It's a control crop. Here's what that means. Garlic gives the farmer control over time, price, and storage. Unlike tomatoes or leafy vegetables that force you to sell immediately or lose everything, garlic can be harvested, cured, and stored for months. That single advantage changes the entire business. A garlic farmer doesn't panic when prices drop. They wait. They observe the market. They sell when demand rises. And demand always rises. Garlic is used everywhere: homes, restaurants, factories, pharmaceutical industries, herbal medicine, even cosmetics. There is no season when garlic becomes useless. Now here's something most people don't realize. The world doesn't just buy garlic. It buys quality garlic. Large cloves, strong aroma, clean bulbs, long shelf life. Farmers who grow improved varieties and cure them properly sell for 2 to 3 times the price of regular garlic. And garlic doesn't need massive land. On a small plot, planted closely, garlic can produce thousands of bulbs. Another quiet advantage? Garlic grows underground. That means a less pest pressure, a less theft, a less visual attention. It's farming that doesn't shout, but pays. Now here's where most gardeners and farmers go wrong. They treat garlic like a vegetable. Garlic is not a vegetable business. It's a storage and timing business. The farmers making money don't rush to market. They cure properly. They store in dry, airy conditions. They sell strategically. That's why garlic farmers rarely complain online. They're too busy counting margins. But if garlic surprised you, the next crop shocks even experienced farmers. Crop number 2. Ginger. Ginger doesn't announce itself either. It stays hidden underground, quietly expanding, storing energy, building value. And when harvested properly, it doesn't give you one income. It gives you several. This is where ginger separates smart farmers from struggling ones. Most people think ginger is harvested once and sold once. That's false. Ginger has income stages. Young ginger, soft, juicy, and aromatic, sells early at premium prices to restaurants and fresh markets. Mature ginger, fibrous and strong, sells later in bulk for processing. And what doesn't sell fresh? It gets dried, powdered, or processed into oil. That means one planting can generate income 3 different ways. Now let's talk demand. Ginger is not just food. It's medicine. It's tea. It's supplements. It's cosmetics. It's export. In many countries, ginger demand has increased year after year due to health awareness. People don't stop consuming ginger during inflation. If anything, they consume more. That's why ginger prices rarely crash completely. Here's another fact most people miss. Ginger doesn't require open farmland. It grows beautifully in raised beds, bags, containers, small backyard plots. This makes it perfect for farmers with limited space. But here's the mistake beginners make. They sell ginger fresh immediately after harvest. That's where money is lost. Fresh ginger is heavy, bulky, price sensitive. Dried ginger is light, easy to store, easy to transport, and far more valuable per kilogram. Farmers who understand this don't complain about low prices. They add value quietly. Now here's the part most people overlook. Ginger improves soil structure when grown properly. It fits perfectly into crop rotation systems. It doesn't exhaust land the way people fear. That's why ginger farmers often combine profit with long-term soil health. And they keep planting it. But wait, the next crop on this list doesn't just make money. It turns low-cost farming into high-value products. And that's where the real surprise begins. Crop number 3, turmeric. If ginger taught farmers about multiple income streams, turmeric teaches them something even deeper. Processing power. Turmeric is not just a crop. It's a raw material for industries. Food, medicine, cosmetics, supplements, traditional remedies, and global demand keeps rising. Here's what most people don't realize. Turmeric prices are not driven by how much you harvest. They're driven by what's inside the root. Curcumin. That bright yellow compound is the reason turmeric is valuable. And farmers who understand this don't grow just any turmeric. They grow high curcumin varieties. Now let's talk business reality. Fresh turmeric sells cheap and fast. But dried turmeric? Powdered turmeric? That's where the real money lies. Drying turmeric removes water weight. Grinding concentrates value. Packaging multiplies price. Farmers who process turmeric often sell 3 to 5 times the fresh root price. And here's another quiet advantage. Turmeric stores extremely well once dried. No rush. No panic selling. No pressure. That means farmers can wait for export buyers, wholesalers, or bulk orders. Another overlooked benefit? Turmeric fits perfectly into small-scale farming. It grows in beds, ridges, and mixed systems. It tolerates shade better than many crops. It improves soil when managed correctly. That's why turmeric farmers often expand slowly and safely. They don't shout online. They don't complain. They just keep producing. Now, if turmeric is about processing, the next crop is about time. Crop number 4, cashew. Cashew is not for impatient people. But for those who understand long-term farming, it's one of the smartest decisions you can make. A cashew tree doesn't rush. It takes time to establish, time to mature, time to build strength. But once it starts producing, it doesn't stop. Many cashew trees produce for 30 to 50 years. That means one planting can support a family, a business, even the next generation. Now here's the part most people don't know. Cashew farming has 3 profit layers. The nut, the apple, and the shell oil used in industry. But the real money? Processing. Raw cashew sells low. Processed cashew sells high. That's why countries import raw cashew and export finished nuts at premium prices. Farmers who partner with processors, or process locally, quietly multiply their income. Another advantage? Cashew trees tolerate poor soils better than many fruit trees. They require relatively low maintenance once established. That makes cashew perfect for a marginal land, a long-term investment farming, passive agricultural income. Cashew is not fast money. It's quiet wealth. And now, we end with the crop that surprises almost everyone. Crop number 5, mushrooms. Mushrooms don't need farmland. That alone should make you pause. They grow indoors, in sheds, in rooms, in containers, and some varieties mature in 3 to 4 weeks. Now here's what shocks beginners. Mushrooms sell faster than they grow. Restaurants, hotels, supermarkets, health-conscious consumers. Demand often exceeds supply. And startup cost? Very low compared to traditional crops. But here's the real secret. Mushrooms turn waste into profit. Agricultural waste, sawdust, straw, organic byproducts. Things most people throw away become growing material. That's why mushroom farming is growing globally, quietly. Farmers don't need land battles. They don't need seasons. They don't depend on rain. They control the environment. And because most people don't understand mushrooms, competition stays low. Fast cycles, quick cash flow, high demand. That combination is rare in agriculture. Now listen closely. This is the difference between struggling farmers and successful ones. The crops alone don't make people rich. Strategy does. The farmers making real money. Don't rush to sell. Don't depend on one buyer. Don't sell raw when processing adds value. They focus on a shelf life, a storage, timing, a market gaps. They also start small. They test. They learn. They improve. And most importantly, they treat farming like a business, not just hard work. That mindset is everything. If you've ever felt farming wasn't worth the effort, if you've ever thought small land meant small dreams, I hope this video changed something inside you. Wealth in agriculture doesn't scream. It grows quietly, patiently, consistently. Sometimes the crops making the most money are the ones nobody is talking about. And sometimes, the difference between struggle and success is simply knowing where to look. If this video helped you, let me know in the comments, and share it with someone who still believes farming can't pay.